Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show Bill Schuyler here at One Wrestling NXT Review. That's right, WWE's NXT Review. And as you already know, if you haven't figured it out, this is not the actual Wednesday evening's edition of the review. No, this is a special edition, a little something I'm throwing out there this week before we get to Wednesday night's first on the road show by NXT, not in Orlando, not at Full Sail University, but taking it on the road to the fans further along out there in these United States. But I digress. I want to first give a shout out, as always, to the boss, Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. You can follow him at the Apter Chat on YouTube. If you don't know who Bill Apter is by now, my friend, you got to get yourself into that. Google him up. Check him out. Bill Apter is the icon of professional wrestling journalism. Can-Am Wrestling Show, now part of One Wrestling. Brought to you always by Andre_Corbeil. Follow him on Twitter. Big Ray at Big Ray Show. Follow him on Twitter. And again, I am the show. I do the back in the day segment right there at the Can-Am Wrestling Show. And you know you can follow me at You Got the Show on Twitter. Also, got to give my shout out, my props to Billy Ray Hustle. Follow him at Billy Ray Valentine. He does the Raw reviews for One Wrestling now. That's right, he's new to the show, and he's knocking it out of the park each and every week now. He's also part, as you know him, as the Prince of the Podcast, the PW Hustle. Best in the 5 boroughs. Nobody can touch him. PW Hustle on iTunes and Podbean. And of course, he's also my partner on Hustle and Show, Go Old School. We'll get back to, as we said, we are not on the air as of yet. We're working it out, trying to get ourselves into a program that we want to be the best at what we can do, and we want to get something new and exciting out there to all you guys who have followed us as we've been. Now, what this is going to be right now, as I gave you a breakdown of the news going out, was that the WWE, Triple H, NXT are looking, they're headhunting for the best indie talent in the world, primarily in the United States and North America. They sent out a message, emails to certain members of the WWE Network, asking them for the list of their top indie promotions and who their favorite wrestlers were in those promotions. Obviously, there's no reason for them to ask that except that they're trying to figure out who they want to sign and bring into NXT next to replenish the roster, as the guys and girls they have on there now are slowly making the rise up to the main rosters of Raw and SmackDown. So what I have decided to do is to come up with my official top 10 draft, if you will, for NXT. Along with that, I'm going to have a couple honorable mentions for some people that I don't think are going to make the cut, and I'll explain why when we get there. And then a little outside the box, and you'll get that understood as we dive into that a little later. What I did not do is pick in this top 10 list women wrestlers. Right now I'm concentrating strictly on the guys, except for something to do in that outside the box feature, and you'll understand why. Alright, what we're going to do, I'm going to jump off right now. I'm going to tell you this. If you don't know the names that I'm giving to you on this list, then I urge you to get yourself there on YouTube. Check out the... Whoa. We had a little technical difficulty, but I'm back. Don't worry about it. talking about, I'm going to give you the promotions they wrestle for, their names, check them out, check their matches out, see what you think if they would fit in the NXT picture, the way it's been groomed over the past, especially the past year and a half. And then what I want you to do, as always, click that like button down below, subscribe, tell your friends, your buddies, your neighbors, anybody that's into pro wrestling to come check the show out, and all the guys here at One Wrestling, and get the best in the business, because that's what we do. We give you the best in the business, and we talk about pro wrestling not for a job, not because we've got nothing better to do, because we love the sport of professional wrestling. Now, number 10 is an individual by the name of Rich Swann, an unbelievable high flyer. This guy is mind-blowing. You could check him out. He's been in Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Evolve, Dragon Gate USA. I'll give you a little hint. Almost every guy I just named are on those lists. That's Ring of Honor, Evolve, Dragon Gate USA, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Lucha Underground. Number 9 on the list, New Jersey's own Jay Lethal, former X Division champion, former or current Ring of Honor TV champion, one of the best cruiserweights in the business. Next up on the list, a beast, a guy that I've had my eye on for years, and he deserves to be on NXT without a doubt. Number 8, Tommaso Ciampa. He will blow your mind of the feats of strength and the abilities that he can do at the size he is. These are all going to be, these are compact, smaller guys. These are not behemoths. These are not giants at 6'5". In of that, I like to say that Sid Vicious mold, of just the big giant Kevin Nash guys. It's not what's going on in wrestling today, and these are the guys that are making it exciting out there for the fans, and these are who the indie stars are, and these are who the fans are clamoring and paying their hard-earned bucks to go see. Now, next up is number 7, Kevin O'Reilly. And number 6, and I put them both together because that's Bobby Fish. And they are part of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions of the World, Red Dragon. They need to sign both of these guys together and keep them as a tag team, as they are probably in, without a doubt, the top 5 tag teams in the business today. Any doubts in your mind, check them out. See their feuds with the Young Bucks, the Briscoes, over in New Japan with the Time Splitters, the Addiction, formerly Bad Influence from TNA. The list goes on and on. The Wolves, anybody and everybody. These guys are kicking tail and taking names. The round-eyed samurai Bobby Fish and Kevin O'Reilly with his MMA background are just absolutely monsters in the ring. Number 5, from the Bullet Club. That's right, I'm reaching out for 2 members of the Bullet Club to be signed. First on the list is the cleaner himself, Kenny Omega. He has superstar all over him, and in my opinion, he would rule the roost in NXT with a quickness, and would be a perfect addition to that next level of superstars to take the WWE into the future. Number 4, you may know him as King Puma in Lucha Underground. You probably know him a lot better as Ricochet here in the States. Doesn't matter if he's wearing a mask or not. He is one of the greatest high flyers in the game today. This guy has moves that you can't even name. things he does in the ring, he moves beyond like the speed of sound. He is just phenomenal. He's unbelievable. You need to see it to believe it, and even then your mind will be blown. I'm telling you, Ricochet / King Puma, definite ability to be signed by NXT. Number 3, the Ring of Honor World Champion Adam Cole. Awesome performer in the ring, awesome performer on the stick. This guy is one of the greatest heels in the business today, and he would be perfectly fit and molded for NXT in the direction that Triple H is taking this company. Number 2, one more from the Bullet Club. A guy that they missed out on when he left TNA and went to Ring of Honor and Japan. And he became the two-time IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Not been done before by a gaijin. That's the phenomenal AJ Styles. And I think that they know they made a mistake in not signing AJ, and I think it would be foolish of them not to go after AJ Styles, give him his shot in the WWE, let him get his WrestleMania moment like every other superstar out there wants to have. AJ deserves it. He's put his time, his blood, his sweat, his tears in promotions all over the world. It's time for the phenomenal one to make his way to NXT. Number 2, again, as I said, AJ Styles was a hard pick. Not, but with the word that Samoa Joe is also being signed or already signed to the company, the matches that these guys could give to the fans of the WWE and NXT who have not seen these guys wrestle because they chose not to watch these other organizations or just did not know about them, they deserve to see what can be done. And oh my God, the matches that these men have had, just unreal. Whether it was Ring of Honor, whether it was TNA Impact Wrestling. And my number 1 pick of the draft, number 1, a guy that's going to change the game in NXT if he is signed. I'm talking about none other than the one, the only, Brian Cage. Brian Cage, you know him as Cage from Lucha Underground. Brian Cage has been ruling the independent wrestling scene for some time. He is a absolute monster. He is compact. He's something like a hybrid mad science went awry thing between the Dynamite Kid, Chris Benoit, you just name it. This guy's got it all, and the size and the muscles that this guy has and the high-flying ability, there's just nobody out there that can compare to Brian Cage, and he is my number 1 draft pick. I would pay him whatever he wanted to become part of NXT. Now, my outside-the-box choice and the reasons why I didn't pick the girls for this list is this. This is for a couples pickup for the draft. Couples, you say? Yes, I'm talking about husband and wives who wrestle together in their companies. Ring of Honor's Michael Bennett and Maria Kanellis. Maria, formerly an WWE Diva. Michael Bennett, one of the best Ring of Honor guys on the roster. A very underrated man. And the two of them together, we're talking just some magic that's been missing in the sport for a while. And that's having your Macho Man and Elizabeth, your Baby Doll and Corbin and Tully Blanchard and the like. Nothing like having the face and his girl, or the heel and his heel woman at his side. Next up would be Pepper Parks and Cherry Bomb. Check out the great interview that we had with Pepper Parks and Cherry Bomb at the Can-Am Wrestling Show. We also, of course, had a fantastic one with AJ Styles, Brian Cage as well. Things to go back in, check them out, get to hear all about these guys and what they could do. And last but not least, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's own Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae. I want these three couples signed. Keep them as couples. They could feud amongst themselves. You got the perfect thing for your Divas television show, for where you're having, you already got Natty and Tyson Kidd and the Usos and their old ladies, and Daniel Bryan and his wife, and Cena and his girl. This would be prime TV for that aspect of it for WWE, and great in-ring promos and wrestling by the girls and the guys, because these ladies here are not valets. They are wrestlers, and they are some of the best in the business. My honorable mentions, I'm going to put right out now, is the Briscoes, Dem Boys from Ring of Honor, World Tag Team Champions many times over. I leave them as an honorable mention because the word on the street is they have already signed or are in pretty tight negotiations with NXT already. Expect them to show up sometime by SummerSlam. Also, one of my favorite teams is the Killer Elite Squad with Davey Boy Jr. That's right, the British Bulldog's son, and Lance Archer. I just think between Lance's age and some kind of bad blood or politics backstage with Davey Boy, something's happened where he was let go and hasn't been approached to be brought back, so I don't think that they would be brought back now. New Japan, the Time Splitters. This would be a tag team that you would need to bring over together because they are in that top 5 of the tag team wrestlers in the business today. That's Alex Shelley and Kushida, worth every dime if they could get them released from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And of course, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, they're never going to go to the WWE. I say never, but these guys are the hottest tag team on the planet. Nobody's bigger than these guys. They make killer money. They make the rules. They do it all, and they're doing it on their own because nobody else wanted to give them their shot because of their size and their attitude. Well, their attitude and their in-ring abilities have been blowing minds from Tokyo to Newark, New Jersey, all across the world to Australia, New Zealand, you name it. They've been there making towns and being too sweet. And that's just the way it is. The Young Bucks, it's a super kick party every night. What they could do for any major company that would take them. But you know what? I love them where they are in New Japan. I love them in Ring of Honor. And I'd rather see them being them outlaws, wrestling where they want to wrestle on their own dime, doing it their way. And the same's going to go for the other tag team in the Bullet Club. That's right, Carl Machine Gun Anderson, one of the greatest wrestlers out there in the game today. Very underrated, but people are getting to know them now due to New Japan's popularity. And his tag team partner, Luke Gallows, you know him from the WWE when he was with CM Punk, when he was Festus, Dorian DeVille, you name it. He's had a ton of names. But regardless, these two are two of the best big men in the tag team divisions throughout the world. And I think they're very happy being the best gaijins in New Japan, making all the money they want over there and living like royalty. And wrestling on their own when they feel like it here in the States and throughout the world. And Gallows wrestles anywhere he wants. From Nigeria to friggin' New Orleans, he's there getting paid. Again, making towns and doing what he's got to do. That's it. This was kind of short and sweet. Not necessarily short because you know me. I like to talk a little bit. And I get very excited about wrestlers that I'm really into. And I dig every single one of these guys and gals that I mentioned here. And again, I urge you, if you don't know any of these people I talked about, if you've heard about them but you've never witnessed them, by God, get on YouTube, Google these guys up, do what you gotta do, borrow some DVDs or take a chance and go buy something. Get some DVDs. Check these guys out. You will not be disappointed. You'll never say, "Show, you steered me wrong." You're going to say, "These guys blew my mind and I can't believe they're not wrestling already for the big boys." Well, I think it's their time. I think it's their year. 2015 is going to be the year of the indie stars rising up. The only problem I have as an indie fan, and indie fans out there are going to be the same way, I don't want to see all these guys go and leave Ring of Honor and Evolve and Dragon Gate and have these companies fold because they lose their major talent. And unfortunately, that's what the WWE is known for doing. This is like the last of the territories. And they would love especially to come in and buy out Ring of Honor on the cheap after they've cleared out their roster and left them with not enough guys to put tails in seats. And like I said, their owners, Sinclair, are not very supportive of the company. And I really think that I just can't see that Vince McMahon and Triple H are not looking at buying out Ring of Honor to get that catalog and have all that to go into the WWE network and bring in all the talent that Ring of Honor has. With that, again, I am the show. You got the show. Follow me on Twitter. I do the NXT reviews of the shows each and every week. Wednesday night, network, 8 o'clock. Don't miss it. First one on the road away from Full Sail University where the crowd, are they going to be hyped? Are they going to be pumped up? Are they going to make it exciting? Are they going to have the NXT roster go out of control because the fans show that they're loving these guys? They want to see everything they got? You're damn right they're going to do it. I don't care where they go. NXT is the promotion of the year. It's the new promotion of the future. And I don't care if you hate the WWE. I can't see how you can hate NXT. NXT, the future, is now. And with that, I'll see you down the road. And of course...